Ripple XRP, so this is exactly what we need in order for this to work. Yes, we have so many different networks, but we do need this one thing, and it's very key. I think sometimes it is often overlooked and something that I always forget as well. And it's the only one thing that is also blocking us from this mass adoption. We will be taking a look at a few things in terms of the live launch dates that we have, particularly for this month of March. And we will also be having a look at the price action of both XRP and XLM today. So all I ask from you are two things, which is to smash that like button and to subscribe to the channel as well. Now, this is the one thing that I'm talking about. Over here from XRP Daily, we have payment networks today are disconnected. So it's all good and well with the developers coming up with the blockchain, creating the network where you can essentially, of course, buy or sell in terms of the token. Let's say, for example, it's XRP or it's XLM. However, the problem with blockchains and networks in general is that it pretty much is closed, right? So let's say, for example, you go to a store and you want to purchase some goods. Now, in order for you to be able to use that network, for you to be able to use that crypto, let's say you hold XRP, the other person then has to also be able to be willing to actually receive that XRP, and not only that, but in terms of the accessibility as well. And if they are not able to receive that XRP, then unfortunately you can't make the payment, which means low adoption. So this is a reason as to why we need more connection and that interoperability. Of course, it is good that we have now had that partnership between both Ripple and XLR Foundation, because this is going to bring interoperability to the XRPL, and it's actually going to be able to move across over 55 connected blockchains. But still, it is a prevalent problem, and I just want to show you this video where it does explain it a bit more in depth.
You walk into a grocery store, you say, hey, do you accept Ether? And they would You walk into a grocery store, you say, hey, do you accept Ether? And they would say, what is that? No, sorry. And the fundamental problem is that all of these different payment networks are disconnected. You can't use any type of cryptocurrency today for payments because you need the other person to actually accept that cryptocurrency. Blockchains don't solve the interoperability problem by themselves. Blockchains are individual networks that have the same problems as traditional ones where they're all disconnected. What we need is a system for internetworking payment networks. And so this term internetworking comes from the internet. That's what it's named after. And at its core, the internet is all about routing little packets of data across independent networks. So what we need is a system for routing packets of money across independent payment networks. So what that would enable is me to pay you even if I have some kind of super obscure cryptocurrency and you just want dollars.
Because it actually, if we take a little bit of a think about it in general, especially the ones that aren't really well known, a lot of the retail traders are going to be having those. So not many retail traders will be owning Bitcoin or Ethereum, mainly because of the fact that the price of it in general is quite expensive. But you will definitely hear of people owning, for example, XRP, Cardano, Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, and more of the coins or tokens that really are in lower prices. But still, there may have been other coins as well that you may have not heard of. I mean, this is the top 50, but for example, let's say Fetch.ai. And this is essentially the problem that we're going to be having, because if we have people that hold a certain crypto token, then they will not be able to actually use that in terms of payment wise, because the other person, the receiver, will not be able to receive the monies. So what we really need is that solution of being able to move value easily. It's not necessarily just the blockchain, but that interconnected network, like he has said. And so that is what we definitely need to solve, and that is something that is blocking us in the crypto industry in general. Let's take a look at this coming in from Smoke. So we have this post talking about the XRP, the Interledger Protocol, and ISO 20022, as well as the smart contracts. So the TCP and IP only connects networks on a data level. But you'll see over here, what about networks connecting where someone can send value across the networks? For example, from Bitcoin to Ethereum, or even Swift Payments Network to, say, Ripple's XRP network. And this is exactly where the interoperability comes into it. We don't all want it on Ripple's network only or Swift payment network, but if we can actually use Swift to Ripple or Bitcoin to Ethereum, I definitely think that there is going to be more value, and it just makes it easier to work across these different networks as well. And in such cases, the token is intended to be able to go to one destination at a time. But one way to connect networks while preventing double spends is to use that exchange. Of course, it does make it more complicated, but blockchain engineers have stripped an exchange to its essence and removed the needed for a trusted middleman by using that cryptographic escrow. So this is the essence behind the ILP, and it is the same conceptual idea as two-way pegs like side chains and state channels like Lightning and Raiden, but the focus is solely on connected networks with respect to value, meaning that it doesn't matter what network you are operating on, but it is the value that matters, and that is how we are able to actually move money across it and the value in general. And then it says over here that the W3C has a blockchain community group working on a network ledger protocol to produce ISO 20022 based blockchain message format standards. Of course, we know that XRP is one of them, as well as XLM in terms of being compliant, and create storage usage guidelines including torrent, public blockchain, private blockchain, and side chain storage. And this group will review and analyze emerging blockchain related technologies and use cases such as interbank communications, cryptocurrency. So again, it really is that interbank, that interconnected networks that we need in order to be able to move value across the other different types of networks. And we need that working, right? We need it working seamlessly, easily, and also accessible as well. Over here from Cyprus, we do have this short video. I won't be playing all of it, just the first part of the clip, because we have Anthony, who has actually served in the White House as a director of communications, but only for a very brief period. Now, his experience really relates into Goldman Sachs, where he worked in the investment banking division, and he worked there for quite some time, I think a few years, and in other divisions as well. But he also went to Harvard Law School, and basically he kind of exposes what happened with the Grayscale Bitcoin ETF application and what the SEC have been doing in general.
There's a standard in the United States as it relates to administrative law called arbitrary and capricious behavior by the administrator. And so the administrator in this case would be the SEC. And so the DC Circuit ruled in the Grayscale case that Gary Gensler and his team were quote unquote arbitrary and capricious in rejecting the Grayscale Bitcoin application. And so that was done knowing that they were arbitrary and capricious. There's very smart people. Gary went to law school. He took administrative law. And so there's a bug in the system, and I believe the bug in the system is Elizabeth Warren. And to take you back to 2020, Elizabeth Warren basically dropped out of the primary, and she basically cut a deal with the Biden administration to effectively be the president for financial services. And so she picked Janet Yellen, she picked Gary, and she hates this industry in a way that you can't possibly imagine, and her minions are going to do everything they can to block things.
And those two words that he has mentioned, arbitrary and capricious. So arbitrary means that you make decisions based on random choices, which obviously isn't logical at all, and especially shouldn't be something that the SEC should be doing anyhow. They should be upholding the law. And capricious basically means that you are being careless or somewhat unpredictable and being fickle. Two things that the SEC should not be doing, but this is what we have seen from them, right? And not only that, but in terms of Elizabeth Warren, we do know her opinions about cryptocurrency in general. And I kind of agree with him when he says that Elizabeth Warren is the bug in the system, because she essentially wants to get rid of it. I don't think that she will be elected though for the US elections for this year. I think that Donald Trump does have a high chance in winning that in place. Let's have a look at the price action for XRP coin today. We are currently trading at 0.6259. For the volume, we are up by 6.3% and we're trading at $2 billion. So you'll see over here in the earlier hours of the morning, we were trading at 0.6333 at 63 cents. On the 7-day chart, we started off the week quite nicely. We actually were at 64 cents at 0.649. And then we did take a bit of a dip to 0.6122, took a bit of a low and went back down by 3 cents. And then we were able to climb up to 0.6674. Now this is key because my next price target for XRP was 65 cents to hit. However, we did take that massive drop all of the way to 0.5732. So it doesn't look like as if it's really promising, because the volatility of the price for XRP, it really does go high when we reach these targets. I actually want to see more of that support level at 65 cents first. But again, to take that drop from 65 cents all of the way to 57 cents is quite a lot, just down by 8 cents within one day. Then we were able to pick back up again. As usual, we went to 0.6342. So on the 1 month chart, we are up by 20.33%. And the thing is, right now in terms of XRP, we really just need to see that consolidation level. I mean, in mid-February, you'll see over here we were at 56 cents, and then towards the later part of February we were at 54 cents. Now that we have started the new month, or supposed the 27th of February, we did go to 59 cents. We climbed into the 60-cent mark. But what we do need to see is that regular trading activity within the 62 to 65 cent level. And if we can, then we should remain somewhat stable over there. Guys, if you want daily Ripple XRP news, subscribe to the channel and like the video as well.